Hi everybody, I'm Ryan Shearman, founder and CEO of Fusar, where we're powering the smart helmet revolution. Now what does that mean and why is it significant? Well, traditionally, helmets are large, bulky devices. They sit on your head, and for 99% of the time, they do absolutely nothing for you. If you get into an accident, that 1% of the time, the helmet's sole purpose is to prevent impact forces from passing on to your brain. But what if a helmet could be so much more? For decades, people have been strapping things to helmets. Today, sure, the cameras have gotten smaller. We have more access to additional devices and new technologies. We're cobbling them together, and we're building DIY kits that lead to a very fragmented experience, introducing unwarranted distractions and things that really aren't safe when you're engaged in action sports. So we look at the devices that we use on a daily basis when we ride, when we snowboard, GoPro action cameras, communication devices, navigation units, activity trackers. These aren't made by the same companies. They don't work with one another, and simply put, the user experience is terrible. So today I use an iPhone, and it does what my old digital camera and my old MP3 player and my flip phone all used to do, but consolidated into one device. And that's what we've done. We've created Mohawk. It's the world's first universal smart helmet product. Now, Mohawk is the tool that turns any helmet into a smart helmet. And when you buy Mohawk, you're not just buying a single standalone device, you're buying into an ecosystem. We have Mohawk, we have our handlebar and wrist-mounted remote controls. We also have our F7 Bluetooth headset. Each of these products is a standalone product, but together you can build up a smart helmet kit piecemeal. This entire kit retails for just $549. Comparatively, all those products I just showed you together, almost $2,000. Now, in action sports, the two most important things, having fun, but staying safe. So it's not just about building in camera functionality and comms, but safety features beyond preventing impact forces from damaging your brain. Now, we look at this as a robust platform, and the mobile app that we've built supports our hardware ecosystem from the get-go. Effectively, we have a social media app inside when you launch the app, and it's something that is reminiscent of the community aspect of action sports. But beyond that, we can track our rides. It's an activity tracking system. I want to know how fast I'm going, what routes I love. I can share that with my friends. I can simply tap group ride, tell who I'm with, whether it's based on proximity or who I've ridden with recently. And I can also talk with them over a cloud-based communication system. It's the world's first cloud-based communication system for action sports. So no longer are we constrained by the limited range of walkie-talkies and Bluetooth headsets. This is going through the cloud, so as long as you have connectivity to the network, you're good to go. And we've demoed this from California to New York. I'm actually going to transition to a demo right now. We're going to talk to one of our engineers live back at our home office in Jersey City. Why is it doing this? So Dan's going to cue this up right now, and we're going to do the comms demo in a second. However, on to the next slide. This is what it looks like when you take photos. If you use a GoPro, you have to wait until you get home to download that media, scrub through hours of footage to find the little clips that you want to share with your friends. We live in a mobile-first world today, so everything for our system syncs directly to your mobile device. You get to the bottom of the hill, you get to a gas station, you can pull out your phone and look at the media you just captured. You can simply share it with your friends right there on the fly. If something really cool happens and your camera wasn't recording, if you're using an action camera today, that moment is lost forever. If you're using Mohawk, we have a buffer system. You simply press two buttons on the bottom of our handlebar remote, and that activates a hotshot. The hotshot takes the last 15 seconds of action and retroactively saves it on the device and pushes it to social media in real time. So now when you get to the bottom of the mountain, when you get to the gas station, your friends have already seen that action, and all you had to do was press a button. So beyond that, it's a safety product as well. If you get into an accident, we don't want you to rely solely on the helmet, but technology. The system has crash detection capabilities that lock the last 2 minutes of telemetry, audio, and visual information in a digital black box, as well as an emergency alert system we call the Guardian Angel platform. It sends an email and a text message to your Guardian Angels, provides them with your GPS location on an interactive map, as well as the local phone numbers of the 3 nearest EMS response units. So even if your loved ones are on the other side of the world, they know who to call to get you the help you need. Now, instead of slamming the helmet, we've got a tethered accelerometer. I'm going to show you what that looks like.
Warning, a crash has been detected. Press the OK button on your Mohawk if you would like to cancel the emergency distress beacon.
I'm not going to cancel it.
You have not canceled the emergency distress beacon. Your guardian angels will now be contacted.
So now what's going to happen is my emergency contacts are going to get a text message and an email with that information on their device. I'll show this to you right now so you can see exactly what that looks like. Now if we can transition to the demo camera, this is a map of where we are at the sands today. Now this is an aerodynamic, low-profile device that does not constitute a snag hazard. If you're riding in the street, if you're pulling a parachute, having a GoPro hanging off your helmet, not the safest thing in the world. We are now transitioning into a new era in action sports technology. We invite you to ride along with us. We're on In-Demand on Indiegogo. I invite you to back us today. Thank you.
All right. With Mohawk. Judges, what's exciting? What sucks?
Could you explain a little bit about where you're at exactly? You've talked about retail, Indiegogo, and all that. So what's the status?
So we had a successful Indiegogo campaign from November 17th to December 17th. It was a $100,000 goal, and we raised $215,000. Our Bluetooth headset is currently in production. Our handlebar remote is in its final DFM. We'll be going into production as soon as we're done tooling up. Mohawk, the brain of the system, will be going into production in the May timeframe.
So is it fair to call this like a OnStar meets black box, meets video? It's interesting. We have an investment in a helmet company called Zenith. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's a football helmet company, and they do some baseball, and they're thinking about doing some others. But these helmet manufacturers right now are all looking for differentiations in technology and things like this. There were people who did a presentation recently about concussion that people don't always know when they have a concussion or they get one. Have you ever thought about putting something like that in there that would notify you literally if there's a certain amount of impact onto the helmet, an alert for a concussion alert or things like that? Things on the medical side, the Fitbit side, I guess, if you will, things like that.
Right. So everything that we're building right now has been inspired by real-life events. I was rear-ended by a car, and I ended up sustaining a concussion. And that was the impetus for everything we're doing. We are looking at that very closely as to how we can build out the platform to not only give you that type of actionable information so that you can go and seek the medical attention that you really need. In terms of helmet companies, the reason we've built a universal kit, when we actually founded the company, we wanted to build a helmet. However, we're arguably vying for a much smaller market. The existing helmet market is 12 to 15 times the size in the US, so we do have really great strategic opportunities with existing helmet companies.
So is that a strategy to go down the OEM route to put your stuff into the...
So if it's a universal product, it'll be Fusar branded. If it's integrated into a partner's product, it's powered by Fusar. Intel inside, right. In terms of how we structure the strategy.
Yeah, depending on what it is and everything, I think there's a real opportunity. I don't know if every piece of it, but I mean that's how helmet companies are going to differentiate themselves through technology. I think you guys are onto something interesting, and just a matter of how you put it in and where. Because I think that's what's going to make the difference.
Certainly, we would absolutely agree.
Why do you decide that a camera had to be a core part of it? Like, to the discussion about whether to build your own helmet, why not just make this work really well with GoPro and cell phones and then build, because to me the most compelling parts are everything but the camera. The camera's largely a commodity. The other things are very interesting.
No, you're absolutely right. In terms of like the camera side of things, we're using an Ambarella SoC, a Sony imaging sensor. We'll get the same high quality pixel for pixel type photos and videos that a GoPro can do. GoPro's not so much an engineering powerhouse. We have a really great engineering team, some really great partners. Building it ourselves is in fact a little bit easier in the beginning for us. The camera is really important because in my accident at least, the driver who hit me was apologizing profusely until the police arrived, and then it was my fault. It was the guy on the motorcycle who caused the collision even though I was hit from behind. So having that camera and having that black box functionality gives you additional layers of protection showing what happened leading up to the incident.
Where do you think are your IP and competitive and unfair advantage here?
So we're working very closely with our IP lawyers. We have 4 U.S. patents pending right now, utility patents. We have 3 more in process. We're also building an eyes-up display system. It's a term we've coined to differentiate ourselves from monocular HUD design systems that are now entering the marketplace. We have a lot of IP around that as well. So we do view that as being something that gives us a little bit of leverage. Speed to market will also help.
And how are you going to sell this? Where will somebody be able to buy this?
So right now, we're on Indiegogo in demand. We'll be transitioning to direct online sales on our own website in a few months. However, we're also talking to a couple of the large big box and power sports distributors.
How easy is it for the average person to install this into their helmet?
So it uses a standard GoPro compatible action camera mount. Takes all of 2 seconds to take off. Our headset Velcros into your helmet. What's beautiful about our system is you can take this from your motorcycle helmet to your skiing and snowboarding helmet in a matter of minutes.
Where is this in 10 years? What accessories am I riding with that you power, and what do they let me do that I cannot do today?
So what's really interesting is receiving feedback from people who have all different types of ideas as to where this tech could go. We're action sports enthusiasts. Everyone on our team rides or skydives, does something related to action and extreme sports. However, we're finding more industrial applications might be appropriate. We're finding that there are certain enterprise applications that might be interesting. However, I think we'll be rooted in action sports for some time because there is a growing market. In fact, more kids skateboard today than play traditional, ball and stick sports.
Maybe talk to the military. Yes.
So we were approached by a gentleman in D.C. who's working on the Talos project, the Iron Man of tomorrow, and there's some interesting aspects of our eyes-up display technology that might be appropriate.
Are you guys satisfied? Nope.
One more, last one. What about the talking platform and things that you've described on cloud-based, walkie-talkie type of thing? Well, why did you go there?
So I have been using Bluetooth headsets when I ride my motorcycle and ski and snowboard for years, and they're peer-to-peer. So at best, maybe 500 yards. Now the newer systems with the larger antennas can get up to about half a mile. That's still a big pain point if you get separated when in a group, and the current systems really will only accommodate maybe 8 people. We, by going through the cloud, have opened that up to unlimited range, so if someone's 2 miles ahead of you because you got split up, you can still talk. And we actually are supporting up to 12 riders, so currently this is a functional product, production level quality, and we have the world's farthest range communications platform implemented for action sports.
Okay, good to go.
Thank you,
Give it
guys.
up for Fusar.